Hello and welcome back to Game Domain. Today we are going to be discussing a somewhat controversial topic, and we are going to be sharing our opinion, and if you are not okay with other people's opinions, then this is not the video for you, so please click away. For those of you who will not leave any angry comments, we will be talking about a looming question in the Star Wars gaming community. Does Disney still trust EA with their Star Wars license? First, we're going to look at the work that EA has done for Star Wars so far, and how they can get back to the golden age of Star Wars gaming. Star Wars has had a rich history of games based on the multi-billion-dollar franchise, and even dating all the way back to the arcade game Star Wars, which was found in arcades from 1983 to 1988. This was, of course, in the 5 years after the release of the original trilogy's finale, Return of the Jedi. Right after the ending of the saga, or the original series at least, George Lucas hit the ground running with video games. But a few out of the dozens of Star Wars games and game series have stood out to fans more than others. These games are majorly agreed as Republic Commando, the Knights of the Old Republic series, the two original Battlefront games, Battlefront and Battlefront 2, both developed by Pandemic Studios and LucasArts, the LEGO Star Wars series, and finally the two most recent installments from EA, Star Wars Battlefront in 2015 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2017. Fans have come to be really annoyed with these two latest games for much more than one reason, and that is what we're going to look at in this video and see if their claims are justified. When Disney bought out Lucasfilm from George Lucas for $4 billion back in 2012, they obtained all the rights to choose what games they wanted to come out and who would receive the license to make the game. Disney was setting up for the December release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, and in doing so, they tapped EA's shoulder to release Star Wars Battlefront, which would revamp the fan favorite Star Wars Battlefront released back in 2004. The game was released in November, as it was supposed to hype up fans for the new movie and for Star Wars to come back on the map after a 10-year movie drought. At first, fans were delighted at the idea of a brand new Star Wars game, but were immediately greeted with well, how should we put this? A really disappointing game. Only 6 characters were playable, excluding DLC characters, and there was just a lackluster multiplayer mode and no campaign. Fans were also disappointed at the fact that there was no content whatsoever from the Star Wars prequels. Although these movies are criticized by fans, there are still some fan-favorite characters and maps that fans wish to be included in the game. The game was not well received from fans and received a 72 to 75 rating from Metacritic. The game's lifespan quickly began to diminish, and people began to put it on the bottom of their game rack just after a month or so, and in some cases not even that long, of playing. After the global success of Star Wars The Force Awakens, new Star Wars fans were born and old ones were revived. The new movie was well received by the large majority of moviegoers, and this prompted Disney to give EA another shot at making a game. But not just any game. This game was supposed to be much bigger and better than the last one, and was to be designed to be one of the biggest money-making schemes in EA's history. EA hyped up the release of the game for months, but then the controversy quickly arose just from the shadows. When EA released the beta trials just a bit before the game's initial November 17th release, fans discovered a looming secret in the game's multiplayer. The multiplayer was based around a nearly broken leveling up system, all based on the purchase of star cards. How do you get these star cards? You can get them in crates that you purchase with the in-game currency of crafting parts and credits. You could buy star cards with various amounts of crafting parts, which were based on the level of the star card, and you could buy crates with credits which you get at the end of every match. Seems somewhat simple, right? But here's the catch. There's a way to completely skip all of this hard work and just buy your way to the finish line. Players found out about EA's pay-to-play scheme hidden within the game, and players could use real-life money to purchase as many credits and crates as they wanted. This would give them complete in-game advantages, as they would have access to higher level and more star card boosts and abilities, as well as better weapons. And some fan-favorite characters were also locked when you first loaded up the game, such as Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Fans were outraged at this and found out that it would take them 40 hours of multiplayer gameplay in order to amass enough credits to purchase just one of these two characters. Other characters and ships, such as Leia Organa or Chewbacca, were worth fewer credits, resulting in less playing time to purchase them. EA received so much backlash from these features, and when asked about the large amount of time players would have to spend in the game to unlock their favorite characters, EA said they wanted the players to feel a sense of accomplishment. And so then, in the week leading up to the game's launch, EA took away the paying for crates and also lowered the amount of credits it would take to purchase characters by 75%. Now, it would take just 10 hours instead of 40 hours, which is a much more reasonable amount for players. The game was released and fans were just not happy at all, as millions boycotted purchase of the game and millions bought the game and were completely disappointed with the lackluster campaign and the broken leveling up system of the multiplayer. Fans did not play the game for long, and EA is still yet to release a major piece of DLC. The closest we have gotten is patch 2.0, which now lets fans use real-life money to purchase new skins for the characters and added a new map on Cloud City from The Empire Strikes Back. Fans are still waiting for the first major DLC season, and it has the chance to make or break EA's Star Wars future. So, now we have discussed EA's Star Wars history, and it's time to give you our quick opinion on the focus question of this video. Does Disney still trust EA with their Star Wars license? We believe no, and we feel as if Disney should strip EA's Star Wars license. There are many other game studios and developing studios that Disney could try, and they should launch a smaller game with a different studio and see how the game turns out and what kind of reception it gets. Then, based on that game, they should make their decisions about the future and going forward in the world of Star Wars games. EA has failed twice now at winning over the fans' hearts, and it's time for Star Wars and Disney to move on to a different galaxy and see what kind of creatures they could bump into there. So what did you think of today's video? Do you think that Battlefront 2015 and Battlefront 2 from 2017 are good games and that EA should keep making Star Wars games? Maybe that's a loaded question. Do you agree with our opinion? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We at Game Domain also invite our subscribers to go and check out our new channel that we launched recently, Game Domain News. We will leave the channel's link in the description, and go subscribe for the best gaming news out there. Because if it wasn't for our amazing fans, we would never be where we are. As always, thanks for watching and supporting Game Domain.